Occupy, the final game mode coming with the launch of Lawbreakers, could very well be one of my favorites appearing thus far. Forcing team play and survival of the fittest in a big way, this mode forces you to bring your A game every step of the way. Occupy is Boss Key's twist on the tried and true King of the Hill of years past. The longer you stand in the ring, the better you are controlling that meat grinder, the more points you're going to earn for your team. Each zone, as they're called in-game, lasts for 45 seconds regardless of whether a team is controlling it or not, and teams earn 1 point per second that they occupy it. The zones also rotate on a set pattern, so once you learn all the maps and the rotations on each map, you'll always be that one step ahead. Whenever a zone is contested, neither team scores points, so it's very important to run plenty of characters with abilities that force enemy movement against their will, and not just the biggest bags of health that you can possibly find. Take, for example, the Battle Medic. This is a class you're definitely going to want as a one-of for this mode due to the healing, sure, but don't forget about that key ability, Defense Grid. Whenever you activate it, all enemies around you are pushed pretty far outside of it, so use that to your advantage to create a big, advantage for your team. The cool part about this is that it's on a 90-second cooldown, meaning that you can comfortably use this ability on every second zone and not even feel bad about it. Assassin is another great example with that grenade of hers. Toss that into the point and any enemy inside is going to get tossed right back out. Any class with a good AoE ability is going to be quite valuable in these tight quarters. A well-placed EMP grenade from a Enforcer can very easily hit 2 or more targets, and Titan rockets in general are straight up going to rip through anyone in that zone. Harrier is one that you might not initially think would be that great, but keep in mind that your team has to play in a really tight area for an extended period of time. If you're properly timing your health station drops on cooldown while considering the recharge time of your currently dropped station, you can be healing 2 teammates at once for a very high amount of value for your team, and at that same time, you can mark anyone that gets too close to the point for 20% extra damage from all sources with that right-click ability, meaning your team suffers the contested condition for less time. The less time your team spends in this contested state, the better it is for your team because it means more points for you. This is the same reason Assassin is valuable with that grenade. It may not keep people out for a very long time, but 1 point can make all the difference in a game, so don't discount it. Juggernaut is really simple here. Get him on the point and keep him fed with fuel for his armor thanks to Harrier pocketing him with heal stations, and he's pretty much good to go. Wraith, you might not even want to play on the point all that much. Maybe you could try using him as a flanker and disrupting the enemy team at various stages in the game instead of trying to go all out and just go into people's faces. You know where the enemy team spawns and what the fastest route from that spawn to the objective might be, so if you can catch somebody in that transition and pick them off, you're doing your team a really great service. Conversely, getting to the next zone when the current one is about to expire is something he could potentially do better than most other classes in the game thanks to his very high and very consistent, easy to accomplish speed. If he can stand on the point for the first 5 seconds before anyone else from either team even gets there, then he's providing really solid value for his team when you multiply that by 3 or more zones. Wraith wears a lot of small hats in this game, and he needs to be able to juggle all of them effectively or else he kind of falls apart, but if he can do all of the things, he's pretty good. Even Gunslinger, with no area of effect or anti-mobility tools, still has an ace up his sleeve in the form of his key ability, the Equalizer. The sheer damage output of this ability has straight up team-wiping potential, and running that on cooldown on every second zone has got to have some really solid value. Finally, we have Vanguard, who I'm a bit unsure of in this mode. Sure, her primary weapon's DPS is very, very high, but I'm not sure that her toolset is what the game mode really needs. Maybe I'm not seeing something here, but I think Vanguard might be the only class you really shy away from, unless you're absolutely sure you can efficiently score a lot of kills with her. Now, what benefits do we have? What positives do we have? Well, let's keep in mind that a lot of these zones in this game mode are in areas with regular gravity, so you can always change those up in a way that no other character can by using her key ability. Sure, that seems reasonable, but is the value that you gain from that really worth it? I'm not sure. I'm not sure making a 0G pocket on the actual objective is going to really help your team in any way. I'm not sure that it's going to be enough of a way to hurt the enemy team. I'm just not sure that it's really going to work out really in any way other than to annoy every player without actually helping or hurting them in a meaningful way. What she can do is if she's able to flank the enemy team, much like a Wraith or Assassin, she can do huge spikes of damage and delete people from the map when they're transitioning from spawn to objective. So there is a lot of potential value for her there as well, in the same vein as Wraith. So we can't necessarily say that she's going to be bad or a useless pick, but generally I think they fulfill the same role, and Wraith might fulfill that role a little bit better while having a more impactful ult, because slow it down is going to always be really beneficial for your team, whereas Starfall might not be. But it's not to say that she's going to be bad or a worthless pick. It's just one that I'm currently questioning, and I'm not sure how she's going to play out. So I would challenge you to go and play and figure out how she really performs. See if I'm right, see if I'm wrong. I don't really know. We'll find out together, and we'll see how she ends up being. But anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this video so far. So thank you for watching. Hope that you've learned something new. Just remember that you need to work proactively with your team, and don't feel bad about pulling out that healer and being a team player, because this mode absolutely needs a couple of people to play a healer of some kind, like a 1 battle medic and 1 Harrier comp along with 3 DPS or 2 DPS and a tank is probably going to be kind of the way to go, at least to start, just to kind of get your feet wet with this mode. And then once you're really comfortable, you can start branching out. But I think that's a nice core for people to get started on. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Hope you learned something new, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.